We're live from Lagos, Nigeria. This is News Central. I'm Adeshawa Josh with the top stories tonight. At least 40 farmers killed as suspected Islamic terrorists launched deadly attacks on Dumba community in Borno State. Lagos Assembly impeaches Speaker Mudashiru Obasa over allegations of misappropriation of funds and other misconducts. Mozambique swears a new parliament with streets of the capital deserted after call for protest against election results.
In business, Debt Management Office announces offer for subscription of 2 Nigeria savings bonds in its first offer for 2025.
And in sports, new Super Eagles head coach Eric Schell promises that his team will score goals to qualify Nigeria for the 2026 FIFA World Cup.
And tonight begins right now. We begin tonight in Borno State, where suspected members of the terror group Islamic State West Africa Province, ISWAP, have been on a rampage since the early hours of Sunday. ISWAP members launched a deadly attack in Dumba, a community in Kukawa local council area, killing at least 40 farmers. Local residents who spoke to News Central say the terrorists stormed the farmers' homes following a disagreement over unpaid taxes. At least 2 people were also killed in separate attacks in Chibok by the terror group. In northeast Nigeria, farmers pay ISWAP thousands of naira so they can keep farming and feed their families. The taxes ISWAP collects from these farmers is one of the ways the terror group bankrolls its operations in the region. The exact number of casualties remain unclear, but the state governor, Babagana Zulum, has condemned the attack and called on the military to do all it can to secure the area. And joining us from Borno State is our correspondent, Umaru Kirawa, with the latest. Thank you so much for joining us, Umaru. What more can you tell us about this attack?
Yes, it's a very unfortunate incident that has happened in Kukawa, Paga community, one of the fishing community and farming community in northern part of Borno State. Usually the town was deserted, but after a long time, the community was resettled and everything seems to be normal. But unfortunately, insurgents and some community members seems to be colluding to be working together because of the relative peace people are enjoying. There are certain areas in which the Nigerian military have given them access to access their farmlands. But due to the increasing level of peace in the community based on intelligence report, these farmers thought it wise to extend the location in which the military has given them to do their farming activities. And this led to conniving with terrorists. Unfortunately, these terrorists, they are paying levies to these terrorist tax to access farmlands in faraway Baga town, which led to the attack.
Let me come in quickly here. You said things are back to normal. How normal can anything go back to after 40 people have been killed in a community of farmers? What more do we know about these victims, and how are the residents of the community faring at this time?
Well, the community is going about a normal activity. You know, people have accustomed themselves with these unfortunate incidents. It happened, and then 2-3 hours, people go about their normal day-to-day activities. And unfortunate enough, this thing happened in different settlement of farmers in the farmland, in the bush, where farmers are going about their farming activities. Some of them, they are having chat and so on and so forth. But like I've said earlier, some of these farmers, based on intelligence report, they are conniving with terrorists so that they can access more farmlands. It is unfortunate that the Nigerian authorities cannot provide security to some of the landmass of the country. And as such, it calls for redoubling of efforts on the Nigerian authorities' side to put more effort to ensure that they protect all the available lands that they have and reach to the enclaves of the terrorists. Because since the Nigerian government can really give certain areas or certain locations in which farmers can have only access to farmlands, and they're restricting them to certain areas, that means they know where these terrorists are sitting, they know where these terrorists are doing their activities, and therefore it calls on the Nigerian government.
If you can hear me clearly, there are two things myself and the viewers are holding on to now, and is that they're conniving, the residents are conniving with the terrorists. And the question is, why do they have to pay taxes to the terrorists to secure their own farmlands where you have the military? But these are questions that needs answering. If you have the answer, let us know. If you don't, we'll keep following this story.
Well, the answer to this, your question, is very simple. First is the issue of the struggle for survival, the quest for survival. You have no any other option when you are hungry but to look at the necessary alternative that you have.
And that answers the question, basically, for survival. Thank you so much, Umaru Kirawa, our correspondent there for us from Borno State, on the latest in the attack in Borno State. Thank you. Family of Salome Adaidu, who was recently murdered for alleged ritual purposes in Nigeria's capital, Abuja, has called on the federal government to ensure justice for their daughter. Though the suspected ritualist has been arrested by the police, the family say they have not received any information from the police on the extent of the ongoing investigation. News Central's Aminu Dan'Agundi is at the family house, and now we cross live to him to give us the latest. Thank you so much, Aminu, for joining us tonight. It is obvious that the families are grieving. What more can you tell us about what's going on with them right now?
Okay, it's been a harrowing experience for the family, distressing to say the least. We are behind the family house. We cannot even go into the family house because the mother of Salome Adaidu is broken. She cannot be consoled. Salome is a 24-year-old youth corper, a graduate of Library and Information Science from the Kogi State University. 2 nights ago, she left these premises saying she was going to visit her friend. The family did not hear from her again till sometime yesterday when they received a call from the police. But tonight we are with members of the family. I'm with our elder sister, Patience Adaidu, and we'll just get to hear from her first. Now, Patience, what was it like when you heard the information?
It was so devastating when I had the information about my sister, Eliojo Salome Adaidu. They called us that they saw her body in OK. We went there, we saw the body dismembered. She was just pieces and scattered. They were asked to bury her immediately, which we did not want to bury her immediately because we always take anyone that dies to the village. After everything, the police have not given us any information about my sister. We don't know anything about my sister. We are hearing that my sister died in OK. Why my sister died in Orozo? I just left the house where my sister was killed. My sister died in Orozo. The case have not been transferred to the state headquarters in Abuja yet. We don't know anything about my sister. We've not seen the corporate. They say they have the corporate in custody. We've not seen the corporate. We've not had anything from anybody. Questions have not been asked. They've not answered our question. The family of Salome Adaidu, we are just in the dark. We don't know anything about my sister.
But let me cut you short. From the way it's going, do you think you will get justice?
From the way it's going, we just demand justice. I don't think there will be justice. We just need help. We need justice. Nigerian, please help us. We are not hearing anything from my sister. We are not hearing anything from the police. They are not saying anything. Please, we need help. We need help.
Okay, I would like to speak to another member of the family, very close family friend, Abigail Igunagu. Abigail, we spoke earlier. What demands are the family making at this moment?
Our demands are very simple. Our demands are very, very simple. We have questions and we need them answered. We need justice, basically. We need to know where he was taking the head to. We need to know who he's taking it to. We need to know what, I don't know. We just need to know a lot. The body was kept somewhere else and he was taking the head somewhere else. We need to know exactly where he is taking. He's not alone in this. I am very sure that he is not alone in this. We need justice. We need justice, please.
You have heard it loud and clear. The family are demanding justice. They want the police to handle the case professionally. They say that up till this moment, the case has not been transferred to the FCT Police Command and that they've not heard from the police. News Central will be following up on this issue and will update you as more information comes in.
Thank you so much, Aminu Dan'Agundi, there for us. It was such a very terrifying story. We will definitely keep an eye on it here on News Central. Thank you. Thank you. And now, Naomi Silekwanla, a former queen of the Alaafin Kingdom, has been granted bail by the Oyo State High Court. The court also granted bail to Ibadan-based media personality Oriyomi Hamzat and the principal of Islamic High School, Abdullahi Fasasi. The three accused are facing a 4-count of conspiracy, acceleration of death, and failure to provide adequate security and medical facilities following the tragedy that happened during the Christmas funfair in Ibadan last year, where no fewer than 35 children died. The judge gave 5 conditions for the bail, including 10 million naira and 2 sureties who must submit landed documents within the court's jurisdiction. Staying in Oyo State, Governor Seyi Makinde has presented the staff of office to the new Alaafin of Oyo, Abimbola Owoade, marking the official commencement of his reign. The presentation took place on Monday at the governor's office in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. Makinde had approved Owade's appointment in a statement released last Friday by the Commissioner for Information and Orientation, Dr. Oyelade. A top government official confirmed that Owoade had arrived in town ahead of the presentation and was scheduled to receive his appointment letter from the state government. You're watching Tonight on News Central, and here is a recap of our top stories. At least 40 farmers killed as suspected Islamic terrorists launched deadly attacks on Dumba community in Borno State. Lagos Assembly impeaches Speaker Mudashiru Obasa over allegations of misappropriation of funds and other misconduct. And Mozambique swears a new parliament with streets of the capital deserted after call for protest against election results. Welcome back. You're watching Tonight on News Central. I'm Adeshawa Josh. It's time to check out what's happening in Lagos, where the state's House of Assembly has impeached its Speaker, Mudashiru Obasa. Obasa was removed for allegedly arriving late to legislative meetings and other improper behaviors like inciting his fellow lawmakers against one another, and for reportedly spending 17 billion naira to construct assembly complex fences, to name a few allegations. Meanwhile, Obasa has denied any wrongdoing and has described the allegations as funny and fake. He added that the allegations stemmed from the fear of some people over the 2027 election year. Obasa has refuted claims that the House spent 200 million naira on its recently organized 22nd Thanksgiving service for staff. Meanwhile, the Lagos House of Assembly has replaced the former Speaker with his deputy, Lasbat Meranda, and elected the Deputy Chief Whip, Fatai Majid, as the Deputy Speaker. Meranda will be the first woman to serve as the Speaker of the Lagos House of Assembly since 1979. 7 men have previously held the position. In 2015, Meranda was elected to this assembly as a lawmaker representing the Apapa constituency, and she is currently serving her 3rd term. Before joining the Lagos Parliament, she worked as a political aide in Apapa local government area between 2008 and 2014. She began her career in the private sector and was born on August 16, 1980, in Lagos. There's a lot to unpack here, and joining me is Liberal Zoshoma, a legal practitioner, to discuss the legal implication of Obasa's impeachment. Thank you so much for joining us. He joins us from Lagos. What are the constitutional and legal grounds for impeaching a speaker in Lagos State? And what role does the Assembly's rules and orders play in the impeachment process?
Yeah, thank you very much. If you look at misconduct in the Constitution is very nebulous and left to the dictate of people who are defining it. And if you look at Section 92 of the Constitution, it clearly just says procedures for removing a speaker when 2/3 of the members he signs a resolution that he be so removed. So, and the House rules also clearly spells out these procedures, and the procedures are different from those procedures that you have in Section 188 for the removal of the governor or a deputy governor, or what you also have in the bylaws for the removal of a local government chairman and his vice chairman, which are clearly, you know, the same thing with the provisions of Section 188. But for the removal of a speaker or principal member of the State House of Assembly, it is clearly by simply by a resolution passed by 2/3 of the members. And for Obasa's case, 32 out of the, I think, 34 or 35 lawmakers, 33 lawmakers, clearly passed the resolution removing the speaker, and so he stands removed. It is, it's as simple as that, really.
Right. So you would say that the procedure for impeachment was followed correctly in this case?
Followed correctly and properly, because if you're a political observer in Lagos, you would have seen this coming with the arrogance and behavior of the speaker during the budget presentation. An opportunity where I think, in my opinion though, Lagos State would have used, where usually Lagos State was an opportunity for Lagos State to, you know, showcase its potentials, you know, what the state had done in the previous year, and the administrative strides of the government and where they hope to go to or achieve in the coming year. But Obasa, you know, introduced that presentation with a lot of rancors that people didn't even know existed, and, you know, all of those speeches of the house being a temple where gods are to be appeased, and that once the gods of the temple are offended until they are appeased, anybody can't get anything from it. You know, a lot of people were even of the opinion that they probably might not even pass the budget the way he spoke that day, and all the insinuations of him not, you know, all those people who have been previously governors in Lagos not better than him, you know. So it was obvious that this was, you know, going to happen anytime soon.
But Obasa says he was allegedly impeached because, quote, some people are afraid of 2027. What do you make of this statement?
You know, according to William Shakespeare, ambitions kill faster in politics. You know, so he should understand that in Lagos, even when he became governor, when he became speaker, there were people who contested the position with him, but they were asked to sit back because you know, the powers that be felt, you know, Obasa should be, you know, haven't spent quite a long time in the house. You know, so it wasn't as if, even at that time also, there were agitation that a female should become speaker. Since for the first time since 1999, apart from the impeachment of Akerele Bokno, for the first time in 1999, you had a governor and a deputy, you know, both of the same sex. So some people felt that it would have been proper to give that position to a female. So, but Obasa was compensated with it, even though a lot of people felt he wasn't qualified. So it's not about being afraid of 2027, but the way he went about the policy of 2027, the arrogance and, you know, the way he went about it was, for me, was akin to somebody who probably did not understand the politics of Lagos, where he has been a key stakeholder. So it's not just about politics of 2027, even though it is involved.
Liberals, let me quickly come in here just to add to your analysis of whether or not it's about 2027 or somebody else is involved. There are all those who are also saying that the executive arm of government may have an influence in this impeachment process.
No, certainly, because
why do you say certainly? Why certainly?
Yeah, you go back and look at the clips of that budget presentation. It was obvious that there was a rift between the governor and the speaker, because the speaker clearly showed it even before, that handshake with the governor, and then the statement of the speaker being qualified to contest and the insinuations. For me, that wasn't a platform to be talking about the insinuations, allegations against him of giving preferential treatment to his people, and the fact that he's an Obasa. He has never denied being an Obasa. It was like a shade at the governor, at the executive. So it was clear that there was no love lost between the speaker, this time around the speaker, and the entire executive arm of government, starting from the screening of commissioners.
Right.
So what had clearly happened today is, it's obvious that not every member of the House was with the speaker when he started all of those, ranting of the House being a temple and the rest.
I'm just looking at a story in Punch now that says the chieftain of the All Progressive Congress, Fuadoki, pretty much is towing the line of the conversation we're having now, saying that Obasa is beginning to see himself as an emperor. What could the implication of his impeachment be on the local politics? I mean, the party, the politics. I mean, what do you think? Briefly.
In Lagos, like I did say in a different platform that you can in Lagos politics, it's almost as if the roads have been paved. So you can you can be brought and you just fit in. So before Obasa from Agege, we had the likes of former Commissioner Kayode Okpeifa from Agege also, So these are people who had come before him. They were also strong men in politics in those areas. And you remember, Ambode. Ambode also was seen in this light that he was becoming, like an emperor. Adeyemi Kufuriji also, you could say ambition.
Right.
And so don't be surprised if a few days from now is a guest to the EFCC because of this.
Again, I know I said that was my last question, but hear this one quickly. Obasa was impeached in absentia. Is that not a coup?
No, I think the man got a wind of what was going to happen, and then he excused himself because it would have been more disgraceful if he were around. So he could always say, I wasn't around. Because if he didn't get a hint of what was happening, the chieftain of the party that we arrested today at the house, what were they doing there? They said they were coming to pay him a courtesy visit, even though he wasn't around. And though there were allegations that they came to protest, because they got a hint of what was going to happen. So it is not a coup. The members have resolved, and they passed a resolution, and that's what Section 92 of the Constitution, states. And so I really don't see that as a coup. I see it as a sharp one by the speaker, the former speaker,
right,
who saw what the handwriting on the wall and decided to quickly excuse himself.
Always a pleasure to have you on the show. Legal practitioner who joined us from Lagos. Thank you so much for your analysis of the story. Thank you so much. Welcome back. The National Bureau of Statistics has unveiled plans by the federal government to incorporate proceeds from illicit activities, including drug trafficking, prostitution, among others, into the calculation of the country's gross domestic product. According to the head of national accounts at the NBS, Baba Madu, the move aligns with international best practices in economic reporting, while noting that illegal trade significantly contributes to some economies around the world. He acknowledged the difficulty of accurately estimating the proceeds from such activities, which he says typically represents about 3 to 3.5% of the GDP. And joining me to discuss this further is Olusegun Owoade, a chartered accountant. He joins me from Lagos. I believe you're joining us tonight from Lagos. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening, and glad to be here this evening.
So, off the curve, people are already questioning prostitution plus illegal drug trafficking being added to the GDP. How is that going to work?
Quite simple. When I read the headline from NBS, I was caught a bit. And the question that comes to bear is why do we most of the time like to copy things? Because I listen critically to the head of account for NBS saying it's a global blessed practice, but we ask ourselves, do we know what we call the culture that is being practiced in our environment? Some of the things that are actually being part of what is to be used in calculating our GDP are things that you ask yourself, people really boast of being identified doing some of these things? Even if we are in the drive for revenue, can we just look at ways at which we infuse our culture into some of the things that are obtainable? I want to draw you back to an aspect where we have this issue of gay and lesbianism being practiced in the developed world. I'm sure you know that it was actually discredited because of our particular culture in Africa, and a lot of people do not buy into it. So, coming to say that calculating the sales of illicit drugs, prostitution, to chunk into our GDP speaks to the fact that you are encouraging immorality. And I don't know how that will speak to. Maybe with this, we might go ahead to scrap NDLEA, because what NDLEA does is to actually run after some of the people that actually perpetrate this ill in town. So how can we be having conflicting agency? One is to make sure that this does not exist, and the other is encouraging that we can generate revenue into this. So it's quite confusing, but I believe that every one of us know that it's against our moral as African, and particular as Nigeria. It is not something that anybody will be proud to be identified with, that this is your business or your line of business as you move.
Do you think there's a silver lining here? Because for them to have come up, for the NBS to have come up with this idea, they probably have data to back it up.
Well, we want them to come out with the data, but I want to ask the people that we see carry out some of these acts, do you think that they are proud the way you are proud to be a journalist, the way I am proud to be an accountant, and come out boldly? Possibly a lady will come up and say, Daddy, the man I want to settle down with, the job that he's doing is that he's trafficking illicit drugs. And you'll be, proud for him that you have actually got the right man. Or a man will come and take the wife to say, Mom, on my way home, I actually picked this prostitute, and that is the person I really want. So how do you want to use that to be a yardstick? The thing they are riding on is quite simple, that it's a global best practice. But we keep saying, as we go ahead to have what we call global best practice, there are culture that is actually identifiable with our continent, and Africa is not excluded. I'm sure you know, if you go to Asia, the way we romance corruption here, it's a capital punishment that comes with it. And they don't shift their ground when they observe that. So I think on this is something that I feel may not see the light of the day. Otherwise, what will be encouraging is immorality in our environment, and that is linking to the growth of our country as a nation.
So what is the way forward here? Because clearly the NBS wants to try and rebase the economy, wants to try and figure out how big the Nigerian economy truly is. Illegal or not, they're saying they want to be able to gather all of the data and decide it is this big or that big. Should they just completely leave it out? Because apparently it's a double-edged sword. While you're trying to figure out how big the economy is, what you're also saying is it's okay to peddle drugs and, prostitute.
Yeah, well, I would say that it is not something that we should consider if we know the deep implication of what we are actually meddling into. Even discussing this thing, you are giving some people the leverage because, like I said at the intro, NDLEA are always out there to clamp people. So are you going to say NDLEA will clamp on some of those people that are perpetrating the act, ask them to carry on their business, get the revenue, and now make it to be part of the contribution to the growth of the GDP? Definitely the answer is no, because we know the adverse effect of some of the things on our environment, the adverse effect of some of these things, even on the growth of our economy. So I feel that is something that will be difficult to penetrate in, and I'm sure the legislators are there, which is the National Assembly, which they will definitely give their nod as against not having this to fly. Even if it's considered to be global best practice, I think our culture, our attitude as Africans should play a major role in arriving at the conclusion of this.
Olusegun, just before you go, I just want to let you know that prostitution is legal in Australia, Colombia, Germany, Bangladesh, Denmark, Switzerland, Canada, France, Belgium, to mention a few. I don't want anyone coming for me. Just putting it out there. But thank you so much, Olusegun Owoade, chartered accountant, for joining us on the news tonight. All right, thank you. Around 250 lawmakers were sworn in on Monday in Mozambique as relative peace returned to the capital following disputed election results. However, two main opposition political parties, Mozambican National Resistance and the Democratic Movement of Mozambique, boycotted the ceremony, claiming that they still dispute the results of the presidential elections held on October 9. The newly elected Speaker of the National Assembly said that the legislature would work to champion dialogue and inclusiveness in order to find solutions to the current political impasse in the southern African nation. Margarida Talapa, who is from the ruling Frelimo party, was elected Speaker after getting 160 votes, defeating two other contenders. We're taking a short break now. When we come back, we have more stories tonight. Stay with us. And it's time for some business news tonight with Perpetual. The first bond offering of the year is out, and the highest yield is 18.2%. Looks like the Nigerian bond market is balling, is it?
Well, you can say that again. And apart from that, I think we should also look at what's happening around West Africa, especially as military governments in Mali, Burkina Faso, and also Niger are beginning to, they're seeking to negotiate terms with miners. And this is because gold is reaching all-time highs in terms of price. And so they want to say to these miners, you know what, whatever revenue sharing formula we had before isn't enough, we need to do more. Now the spotlight is on Niger right now, but I'll tell you more of that after this time out.
Business news in association with Money Master PSB, the easy way to master your money.
The federal government of Nigeria, through the Debt Management Office, has opened subscriptions for the January 2025 FGN savings bonds available from January 13 to January 17, 2025. Investors can choose between a 2-year bond at 17.235% interest maturing in January 2027 and a 3-year bond at 18.235% maturing in January 2028. This offering coincides with Nigeria's increasing interest rate environment, driven by the Central Bank of Nigeria's inflation-fighting policies, which have significantly boosted bond yields. In the December auction, investor interest surged with over 211 billion naira raised. These developments underscore Nigeria's growing appeal as a bond investment destination. As in Nigeria, the government has launched a technology export and digital trade desk to attract investment into the tech sector and increase annual funding for startups to $5 billion. Announced by Dr. Bosun Tijani, Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, the initiative aims to boost Nigeria's technology export and help local companies compete globally. The desk seeks to raise the tech sector's GDP contribution from 14 to 18% to 21% in 3 years. It also aligns with Nigeria's goal to improve its rank in the Economic Complexity Index. With a strategic focus on innovation, entrepreneurship, and global competitiveness, the initiative supports President Tinubu's $1 trillion economic goal. And Mali's military junta has begun seizing gold stockpiles from Barrick Gold's Lower Logon Quarter mine following an interim order issued on January 11. The Canadian miner is locked in a standoff with the government over revenue distribution from the mine, with shipments blocked since November. Barrick has warned it may suspend operations if disruptions persist. Other producers, such as B2 Gold, have reached settlements involving increased royalty payments. Mali's mining ministry has declined to comment, and Barrick warns the situation could harm its operations and Mali's economy. And that's all on Business News Tonight. Thank you for watching. I am Perpetua Fasame Peter. Stay with us. Tonight continues.
Business News in association with Money Master PSB, the easy way to master your money.
Welcome back. Udoka from the sports desk joins me now with the latest sports news tonight. Eric Shell, Super Eagles' first international black coach, is getting $50,000 per month. You know, same as we would have paid a white coach, if you ask me. So I really don't understand what the fuzz is about, Udoka.
Well, a lot to talk about concerning Eric Shell's contract, and yes, $50,000 he will get for taking charge of the Super Eagles of Nigeria for 2 years. So let's see if he will qualify Nigeria for the FIFA under 2026 World Cup. I'll bring you more for sports after this break.
Sports Update, brought to you by Corn Oil. Corn Oil, we go the extra mile.
A new head coach of the Super Eagles of Nigeria, Eric Shell, has promised that his team will score goals to qualify for the 2026 FIFA World Cup after the Super Eagles failed to reach the last edition of the tournament and started slowly in qualification this time around. The 47-year-old signed a 2-year contract that is based on qualifying the country to the World Cup in USA, Canada, and Mexico. Shell promised at his official unveiling in Abuja that his team will play attacking football to reach next year's FIFA World Cup.
I know the expectation of the Nigerian people. I love attacking football. This is my philosophy. Football is about scoring goals. My former team scored 42 goals and conceded 13 goals. I'm an ambitious coach. I want to win.
Adding question to the 2018 helicopter crash that killed the owner of Leicester City Football Club opened on Monday. Vichai Srihadanprava and 4 others were killed when the Thai billionaire's personnel helicopter crashed shortly after taking off from the Premier League club's King Power Stadium following a match in October 2018. In a tribute read to the court by the lawyer for the family of Srihadanprava, he was described as a good man with a good heart. Now, the family statement also paid tribute to his role in reviving Leicester City's fortunes and bankrolling their shock Premier League title triumph in 2016 after the Midlands clubs were 5,000 to 1 ranked outsiders to be crowned champions of England at the start of the season. In boxing, former heavyweight boxing world champion Tyson Fury has announced his retirement with immediate effect. The announcement comes just days after Eddie Hearn revealed Wembley had been reserved for Fury to fight Anthony Joshua in the summer. It is not the first time Fury has announced his retirement, as in April 2022, after beating Dillian White, the Briton said he would be hanging up his gloves. He returned 6 months later to fight Derek Chisora in a trilogy bout at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Fury was beaten by unanimous decision in a December clash in his rematch with Alexander Usyk.
Hi everybody, I'm going to make this short and sweet. I'd like to announce my retirement from boxing. It's been a blast. I've loved every single minute of it, and I'm going to end with this. Dick Turpin wore a mask. God bless everybody. See you on the other side. Get up!
Let's see if Tyson Fury means the retirement this time or he'll make a comeback to fight Anthony Joshua. And that's a wrap on Sports Updates. I am Udoka Njako. The news continues shortly.
Sports Update, brought to you by Corn Oil. Corn Oil, we go the extra mile.
And welcome back. Sam from the entertainment desk joins me now with the latest celebrity gossip, right? It's gossip, you guys call it.
I like how you say that. It sounds very Gen Z.
Right. The reality TV show Young, Famous and African is back, and another Nigerian actress is joining the constellation.
You're letting the cats out the bag. Now, when you say constellation, a lot of parts of Africa involved in this one. And everyone's excited to see, particularly Nollywood star herself, Iniedu. So I'm going to give you all the big details after this quick break.
Entertainment news in association with Glow Unlimited.
Welcome back. Sam Danny's about to give you the biggest stories in entertainment, and this one has everyone like myself excited. I mean, Young, Famous and African is back, and this time it's for season 3. But here's what has everyone talking. Iniedu is in this one, and the cat's out the bag. But that's not all. In fact, we do have 2 more additions, of course, to this incredible stellar cast of celebrities. I'm talking Fikilwe Matobe, who happens to be a popular South African content creator. Then there's also Ugandan entrepreneur Shakib Lutaya. Now, for those who binge-watched the last seasons like myself, let me tell you who, of course, were on this one in the past. Tanzanian musician, hit superstar himself, Diamond Platnumz, of course, is back again. We love it. Swanky Jerry with all the drama and the fashion. Then there's Nigerian actress Annie Macaulay Idibia. We can't forget all the drama with Two-Face back in the, Ugandan socialite and businesswoman Zari, the boss lady, and her husband, Shakib Lutaya. There's also Ghanaian American singer Fantana and Namibian model and businessman Luis Munana. I wish the list was done. This is how much stars we have in Africa. The South African A-lister, including rapper Nadia Nakai, who I love, DJ and radio host Naked DJ with his model partner Kayla, then actress and media personality Kanye Mbwa. This particular season, a lot of people are asking on socials, and I don't have the answers. Hopefully we get it, but people are looking forward to seeing come back sportscaster himself, Andile Nkube, return, and fans are asking, is he coming back? Is he coming back? I guess we'll have to find out.
I can't keep up. I really can't keep up right now.
It's a lot of stars. First, if you like the drama, ooh, you're gonna love this one. I already saw the trailer. They're throwing plates, they're fighting, they're crying. Ooh, it's gonna be fun.
Oh my.
It's gonna be fun.
Okay, fingers crossed.
Well, we're gonna go on another quick break right here. There's another story that might interest you. This one's in the music scene. Stay with us right after this.
Entertainment news in association with Glow Unlimited.
Now, before the break, I brought you big news about what? A showbiz to expect variety show. But now we're going to the national scene where there's great music. I have to ask you, do you like R. Kelly?
Of course I do. Do you like R. Kelly?
I'm Gen Z. We don't.
Oh my God, really... you guys you're missing out on great music. And I hear he has a new song out now.
So
is he singing from the prison?
There's T, okay?
From jail.
I know, right? So now what we're getting is there are about 3 songs out on YouTube that are getting much numbers. But here's the good part. They're not by R. Kelly. Although the songs have R. Kelly's name, and surprisingly, he's in the music video. But guess what? It's not real. Apparently, if I said AI is taking over, you'd be scared, but it seems like that's what that is. Someone had posted on YouTube 3 songs by R. Kelly with an official music video. In fact, one of them titled When God Speaks.
Oh, wow.
Another one says, Please Forgive Me. Sounds like R. Kelly to me. And another one says, I Pray For You. Now, for those who've listened, you can tell that it does sound like R. Kelly. AI is doing something. I don't know if this is legal.
What does that mean for the music industry in general? If you can have AI basically do my job tomorrow.
That's a good one. Now, in the past, we've seen actual people do this for popular people who are not in prison. I mean, there are AI versions of Drake songs, Thames and Rihanna collaborations, things that we haven't even heard. Now, this was a huge, big deal between, of course, record labels, and they did have to, you know, cut it off. But you know what? I'm going to give you all the more details about this one because there's a tweet and so much more in this one. But hey, go check it out for yourself. Well, that's what you can take on entertainment. Sam Dandy, of course. I'll try to listen to Mariah Kelly, I promise, after this.
That would be very good. Make me happy and proud.
Entertainment news in association with Glow Unlimited.
And that's the news tonight on News Central. But before we go, here's a reminder of our top stories. At least 40 farmers killed as suspected Islamic terrorists launched deadly attacks on Dumba community in Borno State. Lagos Assembly impeaches Speaker Mudashiru Obasa over allegations of misappropriation of funds and other misconduct. And Mozambique swears in new parliament with streets of the capital deserted after call for protest against election results. That's it tonight. Thank you so much for watching. You can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, AVO TV, and YouTube. I'm Adejawa Josh. I'll see you tomorrow.